Hey everybody, I'm Corey and I go by Corey JA on the internet. Thanks for tuning in to stream today. Today we're going to work on status, the uptime tracking project we worked on styling up a bit last week. This is my blog at CoreyJA.com, and if you head over here to the recent video, you can actually check out the last stream of adding some styles to status. So if we check out the deployed version here, this is available at status.coreyja.com. I'm all authed in so we can check which sites I'm monitoring. We're monitoring my Corey JA blog, and we're monitoring the status homepage. And we can see the last time we checked in. And we have some styles. We got this nice sidebar. This page isn't styled, but this one has some styles to it. And so that's what we worked on last week. And today we're gonna maybe blow some of that up and kind of start over. So this site is an Axum driven site in Rust right now. And for the front end, it's just like rendering some HTML. And then we styled it with some Tailwind styles. But I don't have any JavaScript, any interactivity yet. And I didn't really feel like writing JavaScript because I wanted to do a Rust only thing just because I'm having fun. That was the whole point of this. And so I was a little bit stuck. I thought I was going to do HTMX for a little while, but there are things that I think I want to do that are like actually just client side, like opening toggles and things like that. But I don't want to necessarily need a whole server call for, which is kind of what HTMX is built around. So today we're going to try out something a little different. We're going to try out Leptos, which is a Rust full stack, fully typed framework. So it's one of the WASM frameworks in Rust. And when I've looked at these WASM frameworks before, they all felt a lot more Reacty and not more server driven, and they don't do the they don't work well without JavaScript. They don't degrade nicely. But Leptos actually does seem a lot better. It seems like kind of exactly what I want out of one of these frameworks. So I think we are going to try integrating that with our status project today, and kind of just dive in. So we're gonna give it a shot and get going. So eventually it is component driven, which I think makes sense. But one of the cool things about this is we can actually do server rendering for this. So we can render all of our view, or at least the initial render of our view on the server before we ship it over. And then just do interactive bits on the client side and stuff, which I'm excited for. So here's a button example. If you are familiar with React and React hooky kind of things, this might look familiar to you. We create a signal, which is Leptos, for this would be like a use state maybe in React. Sorry, got some hiccups. Where then we can get our count and then set the count. When you click on the button, we update the count by 1. And you show the count when inside the button. Yay, buttons! So that's what we are going to do, and then this is kind of what I'm excited about. Here's a form that you can set your favorite type of cookie and favorite color. So here's the form, right? We make a nice action form, we give it some labels, some input, and then this calls action. Yep, so it calls, the action of this is favorites, and favorite is a server action of save favorites, which calls this server function. And the cool thing about this server function is this now is happening on our server. So we can do things like get a database pool and then insert these into the database. And this is basically like our API, but it's bundled with the component, which I really like encapsulates the things close to where they're used. So we are going to try this out. So we already have some existing stuff, so I'm not 100% sure what the best way is going to be. I'm not sure. They have some nice getting started guides with their own builder where you can make a new project with this. But I don't think that's the way I want to go because I already have a project, right? So I don't think I want to make a new one. So we're gonna see how we want to get started. Let's see if there is a guide or anything about, not really. I was hoping there was a guide of adding this to an existing app. Leptos, add to Axum app. Let's just see what everyone says here. Yeah, so here's the starter template. But I don't want to do the template, but maybe I guess I can just look at this template and see how everything is set up. Or is it the case that I kind of want to use this and then just like move all of my logic into this instead of the other way around? That's not a crazy idea. Maybe we'll start there and see how we're feeling. So do I want to make that in a subdirectory here? Do I want to make that in a different repo? Like I want it to be in the same repo, so I don't. So maybe I make it in a Leptos subdirectory, and then I can undo that in a bit potentially. Hey, thank you for the follow, your plug 12. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in and the follow. I really appreciate it. I hope you are enjoying what we're chatting about. So yeah, I think we're going to do this starter. So let's install Cargo Leptos. We're going to use their Cargo Leptos tool. So they also have a way to use trunk, which is kind of the WASM standard buildy kind of thing for Rust. But we want to use a lot of their server rendering. So I think they prefer their own. They have some nice tools for the server rendering side, it looks like. So we're going to use that. We'll just install their tool. Give us a second here. Oh, we're in add time anyways, so. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Almost done. What else are we gonna have to do after this? Then we just want to run a new one of these to generate a new project template, and then it'll probably do all this. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's gonna be a little weird. We're gonna like be embedded in another repo, and then we're gonna have to like copy things over and out when we're done. But I think that'll be a little bit better than some of the alternatives. But we'll see. And then let's actually Google this real quick. Leptos Tailwind. They're just like an easy way to do this. Yeah, with the Cargo Leptos tool. Awesome. Oh, it doesn't seem like that's very exciting. You just run the watch thing side by side. Okay, well, we'll get there eventually. Cool, we got Cargo Leptos installed. Let's run the Axum thingy. Project name, status, Leptos. Awesome. CD status Leptos. We're actually going to rm rf the .git here. Oh, is there not a .git directory? Oh yeah, because we were on the same commit. Awesome. Okay, it said it was going to make a new git, but it doesn't look like it actually did. And okay, we can now look at what's going on in our status Leptos directory. Ooh, we've got some end-to-end tests all set up. Oh, this is going to be nice. I like it. We got a public directory. Can probably put some of our style stuff in there. We've got a main SCSS file set up. Okay, this is going to be nice. Okay, so how do we run this? And we do Cargo Leptos watch. I think we can handle that. Got some compiling to do, understandably. So we are going to have some interesting things with routing between Leptos and Axum. Leptos does like hook in with Axum nicely, so it won't like not work. But we're going to have to like, some of our routing will move so that it's more controlled by Leptos and less by Axum, and same in the other direction. So we will see how it all plays together. This will be my first time trying out Leptos really, and definitely my first time integrating it into an existing project. Luckily, status isn't too big, so I'm not thinking this will be awful. But it definitely will be interesting. I would love it if by the end of stream I had a deployable thing in Leptos that was about as far as we had with the current stuff. Okay, let's see if I can type better. Localhost 3000. There we go. Welcome to Leptos, and we have our button example again where we can increment it. Nice. Love that. Okay, let's take a peek around and see see what we got. Okay, so let's start off with the main here. This is a Tokyo main. We include Axum router and some Leptos stuff, and then some things for our app. We'll be using cargo Leptos' environment variables. Interesting. Okay. Alternatively, a file can be specified such as cargo.toml. This file would need to be included with the executable when moved to deployment. Okay. Interesting. On a remote without the toolchain. The minimum files needed are the server binary located, the site directory, and all files within located at target site. Copy these files to your remote server. The directory structure should be okay. So this is going to be a little more interesting. Not interesting, just different. So one thing that I've liked with my current servers is they bundle everything in the binary, and this isn't going to do that, which is fine. We'll use this for now, but eventually we are going to want to think about this. But for right now, we're just gonna keep going. We'll get to deploying it in a bit. Generate route list for our app, which I think is, we'll look at that in a minute. That's where we're gonna have some routes for Leptos and then some in Axum, and that's the difference here. And I'm not sure exactly where we'll end up. So then these, we set all the Leptos routes. Our fallback is a file and error handler. And we give it state of Leptos options. That one's interesting. Only because I'm used to giving different state to Axum usually. So it's just some feature stuff. No client-side main function. Trunk. Yeah. List with example trunk with for a purely client-side app. No, we don't need a client-side main function. Okay, I think that makes sense. If you are server-side rendering, you have a whole thing. Yeah, and we are server-side rendering. Okay, so we're gonna have a whole thing. Do we have that feature enabled? Like, are we set up for that? Features, yes. Server-side rendering. Cool. Okay, I think we're good. So that was the main. In lib here, just some glue code, it looks like. And then app. I think this is where everything is gonna be here. So everything implements into view. That makes sense. Provide meta context. Provides context that manages style sheets, titles, meta tags, etc. Okay, cool. Injects a style sheet into the document head. ID Leptos means cargo Leptos will hot reload the style sheet. Cool, like that. We set the title. Router for this welcome page. So if you don't fallback. So this is just interesting. Outside errors. Not found. Insert with default key. Outside errors. So oh wow, that's interesting. I'm not sure what this outside errors pattern is, but that's okay. We just render an error template if you don't hit one of these routes, I think, basically. So I think inside main, so there's probably like a main tag here, right? I think that's actually an HTML tag. Yep. Here's our main HTML tag. Oh, and that's kind of cool. We kind of get like some docs here about like source 446, 446, so 46 is going to be this view. Yeah, so you can like see that view in here. Oh, that's pretty cool with comments. I like that. That'll make everything just a little easier to debug. Here's where we do the example we saw before. Love that for the little component. Then here's where we do routing. We have no path, and that gets us to the home page. And okay. So one thing that I want to look into before we get too far is what we're gonna do about authentication. Authentication. Let pull the DB and auth provider from context. Session auth Axum example that I like. Okay, so what do we got here? This is all just in an auth file. So we got a user. We can pull a default guest user. Interesting, fine. We know how to get a user from the database. We look it up. We get a token for them too. Cool. We can do get from username, impl authentication for where authentication is from something. Axum session. Cool. Is authenticated, is active, is anonymous, whatever, has permission. So how do we use that in like our login here? Okay, so we get pool and auth, which we just kind of get. Where did these come from? Use context, so it pulls it out of whatever the context is, which is what the comment said, which makes sense. It's got to be pretty similar to state in Axum, just a different word for it. Okay, so then we get user from username. Oh, because this is the login with the password. Got it. Okay, we verify auth.remember user. Yeah, that makes sense. Auth.login user. Yeah, but then like how do we server get user? Yeah. So you just get the auth thing again. Oh, then you ask current user for it. Okay. That makes a bit of sense, I think. So that's using Axum session auth. Does this wrap? It requires Axum session library. Okay. Library to provide a user authentication and privilege token checks. I'm not sure I need that as much. This library will help by making it so user ID and authorizations are not stored on the client side, but rather on the server side. The authorization is linked by a client server side session ID and is stored on the client side, formerly known as Axum sessions auth. Isn't that what it's still called? That's funny. Reps Axum session. So what's Axum session? Let's just go down this rabbit hole a little bit. Yeah, so there's tower sessions. Okay, so I think, what if I just want to do tower sessions on top of this? Yep, so then I can also just use that. Axum login, there we go, is the one that's built on top of this. Support for arbitrary users and backends. Convenient route protection. Axum login with Leptos. Okay, well, we also okay, let's ignore auth for the moment, though I think something with Axum tower session / Axum login sounds like a good idea. What are we looking at right now? This is tower session. So you set up a store, you set up a layer, yep, and then you add it as a layer. That makes sense. And then you can do things like get the session. So this is just handling sessions in just sessions, key value pairs associated with a site visitor as a tower middleware. Got it. So this just does sessions, and then you are supposed to layer in like there's login, which does the login on top. Okay, so I might actually just want sessions, and then I'll do my own auth stuff because I'm doing weird auth with my blog as an IDP. Okay, that makes sense. We're gonna probably think about using tower sessions, maybe not Axum login today. But I think we're also going to not do any of that here. I think we're gonna worry about that later. We're gonna try to just get some stuff rendering and get to where we can do some of the Tailwind stuff that we were doing before, and then we will worry about actually getting our auth layered in here. Okay. So I feel like I'm feeling pretty comfortable here with how everything is set up. So let's now look at what we had in our other routes. So we do have a bit of other routes going on. So we've got our homepage, we've got the style sheets, we've got our logins. These actually just like are routes though, they're not pages. And it's one of those things where maybe I can just move these over kind of how they are. And not have to worry about it. And that's the thing. I might even be able to just slot them in exactly without the Leptos stuff getting in the way at all. So that'd be kind of nice. So let's see. Let's try to do Tailwind. Let's see if we can get Tailwind set up with Leptos. And there is that package that we saw that I think is by the Primageddon, a popular YouTuber. That's kind of funny. I think that's who that is. Might be a different, similar username though. I can't tell. Doesn't matter. We're gonna see if we can get this working. Alternatives. No, this is all fine. All I want to do is get Tailwind working. So is there anything like exciting about this? This just has a source output. Oh wait, where is it spitting things? That's I guess what I want to look at. It takes input.css, so from here, and spits it out to style output. Okay, so they're just putting it in the style directory that Leptos is looking for. Okay, that's doable for sure. That's like pretty easy, I think, actually. So I have a proc file here that I was running for the thing before, but let's make a new one inside status Leptos, and this is gonna run Tailwind, and it's then gonna do cargo Leptos watch for the server. Tailwind's input. Let's take this source. Yeah, that's fine. Let's put it in source again. Tailwind CSS. That seems reasonable to me. So then in my proc file here, Tailwind CSS source, and then this one can be styles. My Tailwind CSS watch. And then in app where I load this status Leptos CSS. That's interesting. Oh, do they call it main in style? I might want to call it main. No, they call it output. Okay, so then where's the thing that makes that work? Output.fcss. Oh, so they just have something that named file. Oh, this is an actix. Wait, is this an actix, not axum? Because that would kind of be interesting if that's what it was. Oh, it doesn't say there, but it is because that's just what it's using. Okay, that's fine though. It's not a big deal. Aha, there we go. I think so. I might have in a cargo.toml file some Leptos settings potentially. Yep, output name. There we go. That works for me. Style name style. This is going to be tailwind.css, and it's probably just a CSS file. Cool. Style. Okay, and then we can have a public. Here's where we can do our site address. Oh, we're actually going to run this on port 3003. Actually, wait, is it port 3000? What were we running it on before? Main 3001. 11. Cool. Just looking at some settings here. I like this. Yep, we're gonna do server side, that can hydrate, ROSM release. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like all those. Those are cool. So now though, I should be able to do overmind s. That should. Couldn't find the style file. That's fair. Hopefully it will in a second once. Oh yeah, no utility classes were found. That's fair. Let's throw some, let's add a utility class. Oops. I accidentally hid all of my editor. That's definitely not what I wanted there. Okay, class equals background red 500. Because now our Tailwind should work. Oh, okay. Let's look at our Tailwind config file then. Oh, did I not copy over my Tailwind config file? I don't think I copied over my Tailwind config file. Let's do that. There's my Tailwind config file, source RS files, and that. I think that makes sense because my app is just an RS file. Yeah. There we go. Overmind start. Tailwind could not read style Tailwind CSS. Okay. Oh yeah, it didn't make that file, even though it should have. Styles. Oh, styles. Yeah, okay. Style. Delete this whole directory. So let's actually just change that in the proc file. Oh, this is also just wrong. Had to go to target. I wanted to go to style at the moment. Overmind S. Oh man, I thought that was gonna work that time because I thought it was gonna have made it. Wait. Did I mess up? Is this the other proc file? Of course it is. I opened the wrong proc file. Wasn't paying attention. That's why it does say styles. Okay. Okay. We're making progress now. Nice. Okay. So now if we go to localhost 3000, it's this, but it's on 3000 now. Yay, we see some red. And we lost some default styles because that is what Tailwind does. Cool. So Tailwind is definitely loaded now. And we are off to the races there. Cool. Okay. Do I want to, like, make some commits? I might as well, right? Sorry. There we go. I had to remember how I do my syntax here. Try out Leptos. Oh wait, ooh, actually, let's look at that. Did that, like, include, oh, not ls, I won't show. Not uppercase either. Did this accidentally include, oh, that's not the one I thought it was. Oh, I haven't actually committed it. I see. I thought I had. Does this include the target directory on accident? Nope, we're good. We are good. Ooh, we're also going to run these end-to-end tests in just a sec because I'm excited about those. Created a Leptos Axum project and got Tailwind configured. Oops, wrong quote. Perfect. Okay. Okay, let's get going. So I think one of the first things that we want to do here is I want to make sure that we're set up correctly for the Leptos server-side rendering, because that's one thing that I definitely want to do. I want to be rendering on the server, at least some of the page, because I definitely want to do auth there. So I think that'll make everything easier for myself. So let's hop all the way down to server-side rendering. And we are going to use Cargo Leptos. We did do this new project with the Cargo. Oof. With Cargo Leptos, we are doing a Start Axum project, so we are good to go that way. Let's see how everything is set to render, or how we can set things for rendering. I think, yeah, we can set it in the routes here. And I wonder if there's a way to set it defaults to out of order streaming. But it's really easy. You can do it to one or more of your route components. Okay, so I think I want to do it. It defaults to out of order streaming. And one of the cons here is that it requires JavaScript to fill in everything. Oh man, but out of order does sound nice. But I was kind of thinking that I wanted to do um able to show the fallback loading state dynamically instead of showing blank sections for unloaded data. Yeah, maybe we'll start with out of order. I was kind of thinking that I wanted it to work fully without JavaScript, and then maybe I want in order streaming because I was looking at these yesterday. Um, Loads the shell more slowly than synchronous rendering. Because it needs to pause at every suspense. Unable to show fallback states for suspense. Yeah. There's also async rendering. Load all resources on the server. Wait until data are loaded. Render HTML in one sweep. This is the easiest one, right? This is actually what I was going with before. Maybe I just start with async and we go from there. This is the closest to what I had initially. And I think we're just going to do that. Does it just async? Do I need like quotes or something? I bet. Something more like that. It's a type. SSR mode, async. So now if I go to Leptos, what is it? Status Leptos. And then I can do overmind start. Awesome. Cool. Now this should be so that if I like look at the network here and I reload, this should be a full formed HTML. Like this should be the full actual response here. It's even got some nice script tags up top and everything, but if we make it down to the actual HTML, I thought we'd actually find HTML here. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's just hidden in all these comments that I wasn't seeing at first. But yeah, we actually have the full HTML, all nicely minified, I guess, at the end with all the comments. But it's perfect. It also is probably going to look different in prod because this is local only and probably has some extra bits there for that. Okay, so we have server-side rendering, which is basically set up to work like our old one was before. So anything that we wait on in rendering, I think is actually going to wait, like isn't going to do anything fancy on the client side. We're just going to actually render it on the server side, send it over, and then it like gets interactive on the client side, which I think is what I want. I might play with some of the other server-side rendering modes eventually, but this is going to help me have things work without JavaScript if someone doesn't have JavaScript enabled. And I think we're going to go with that for the moment. That one feels good to me. But actually, I want to check out end-to-end. How do we... is there like a... How do I run you? Or am I supposed to do it through cargo leptos, maybe? Let's see what the docs say. Testing. Ordinary Rust tests. End-to-end tests. Using different testing tools. Playwright tests. This one. Oh, it doesn't really tell me how to do it. It's just like that is a thing. Yeah, they don't really tell me how to do that. They're just like, yeah, just do it. Yeah, not the best. I feel like they could given me a little bit more examples here of how to actually use the playwright. Yeah, it's a little silly. Run, play, write, tests. Cool. npx playwright test. Yep. Gotta install playwright. npm install. Just install some stuff. Now run it. Oh, it ran. Ooh, fancy. It failed in lots of browsers. Looks like Playwright test has just installed or updated. Please do this. Okay, let's install some stuff. Oh, it's run. Yeah, that didn't actually do the install. Gotcha. We needed like Chromium and all that. Ooh, yes, 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 yes. Please give me a VS Code extension. That is going to be perfect. That might be what I was going to be missing, because now I bet from here I can just like click a play button. Click of that button. It'll just run the playwright test for me. Oh yeah, you can like see it running while it goes. Oh, love it. Awesome. Cool. So it found my blog, probably because it was looking localhost 3000. Let's run it on 3001. Oops, 1. Now it probably just isn't going to do anything because I don't think I have anything running there yet. Yeah, cool. Okay, and then in my playwright config, there is this thing down here of web server. Oops. Can I like do dot cargo leptos serve port 3000? Will that work? That'd be pretty cool if it does. Does not appear so. Oh, well, yeah. 3001, 3001. Uh, Cargo, no such file or directory. Process. Yeah, interesting. Okay, okay. Oh yeah, that's not how that works. CD dot dot and that. Oh yeah, it doesn't know port. That's fine. Ooh, ooh. Oh, it worked. That's what I needed. There we go. Now it'll run it. I'm not sure, like I think the port thing probably has to be kept in check or something. So like I might want to move this to like 23 but I don't know if this is gonna work. 21? Wait, 21, yeah. Because 11 I said was gonna be for its like internal refreshy thing that I used on something else. Yeah, okay, so I need to tell Leptos to use a different port. I wonder if I can do that with like Leptos port or something environment variable. I bet I can. I bet if I do Leptos port equals 3021. I bet that'll work. Leptos port. I can also just look it up. Okay, so I want the site adder. Leptos envar. Thought that would tell me what I was looking a little bit better. Do site parameters, environment variables. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think I just want site adder. Oh wait, there might be Tailwind more tied in than I thought. I like that. Local host. Okay, there we go. Let's try that. Invalid socket address syntax. Oh, okay. It defaults to that one. And maybe it wants to be in quotes. Oh, well, not those quotes. Single quotes. Invalid socket. Address syntax. That's interesting. Wonder why it doesn't like... Oh, well, yeah, okay. I guess I should just read what I wrote before complaining about it not working. I gave it 2 ports. Of course I didn't know what to do when I gave it 2 ports. Perfect. Okay, there we go. We have these playwright tests. They are good to go. That's pretty fun. I'm not sure how we'll end up using them with auth because I'm not sure I'm going to wire up auth with the tests, but that is okay. It's fun to know that they're all set up. What did I change in the app? Anything exciting? Oh, I added the async mode. Perfect. Get playwright tests working. That was nice. There we go. Okay, so let's try to, I guess, do login, because like it's really kind of the next step. I was putting it off for as long as possible, but I think I need to do login. Which means I'm gonna definitely need to do some Leptos, like kind of state stuff. So like when we start up Leptos somewhere, maybe an app. Oh, we don't have an app. Okay. Oh, interesting. We've got some more stuff set up here than I was. Okay. Server function handler. Handle server functions with context. Oh, okay. There we go. I think this is what I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need some of these things for sure. Yep, we set up all those things. Explicit server function is no longer required on the main branch. Oh, cool. Settings and ones, yep, I like using their envars. That makes sense. We make an app state. Here's where we do routing stuff. API function names go here. Fallback goes there. We had a layer for our auth layer and session layer. Okay. And so then really the magic-ish is here, this server function handler, which takes some state stuff and gets it ready for server functions. Okay, okay. This is actually going to be pretty easy. Because this just is into response and all my server functions. So like if I look in auth, the server functions they write. Finding a server function, finding a server function. There we go. They return server function error. Okay, yeah. What's server function error? Okay, so this is a server function. Okay, so this is in it. Occurs on the client if there's... Okay, so it's just all of the error stuff. That's not overly exciting. Okay, I think it'll be fine. Because these ones are... Yeah, and then like you don't get the thing from the context. Okay, and then you use error with server function, like a new server function error, which isn't crazy. And this says like you have to have an auth session. I don't know if auth session necessarily means you have logged in or not yet though. But the server functions can have access to those. Okay. Yeah, no, I think we're good. Do I want to... I think I want to like collapse these a bit. But I don't know what the best way to do that is. Sorry, what I meant to collapse was my 2 apps, right? Like I have status out here and I have the Leptos one in here and I want them to be more the same. So I don't know what I want to do. Yeah, I don't really know what I want to do. I think I'm gonna kind of Frankenstein them together a little bit. I guess I'm thinking that I might bring the Leptos stuff out because there's not a ton to it, and I think I can bring it out easier than bringing everything in. And then I'll just go from Leptos managed pages to like not Leptos managed pages, or the other way around, non-Leptos to Leptos. We'll move pages into Leptos basically. Yep. Okay, let's do that. We're doing it. So like let's just move some stuff out, like end to end just moves out, public just moves out, style can just move out, Tailwind can move out and replace, Rust toolchain I guess can move out, the proc file, yeah, their proc file is probably better because we have both of those, and I bet that's gonna be better. The readme. Oh, this actually had way more information than I thought. Yeah. Oh, I also could have just run Leptos end to end. Yeah. Okay. I might actually want more of this than I thought. What's my readme right now? Wait, do I have a readme? Nope. That was all for nothing. I definitely wanted that one. Oh, I don't think we're licensing this MIT right now. We'll decide how we want to license this eventually. If you have very strong opinions about how I license this, especially how as it relates to me getting paid to do this, you should definitely drop me a line in my Discord. I'm thinking I might not open source all of these kind of things, and maybe I'll do source available. But I don't know yet. If you have opinions, I would love to chat with you. So there's not too much left in here. There's the cargo.toml, which has a lot of good stuff in it that I do need. Okay, but besides that, we're actually doing pretty good. So here's all the Leptos config. Let's take all of that for sure. We'll go to this cargo.toml Leptos. Okay, and then the other thing that I want to do, oh, I also want these from Leptos. These are also important. Okay, so then the dependencies section. This lets take over, but these ones we're going to want to look at a lot closer. So like Axum, we should already have Axum. We don't have that, we want it. Leptos things, we want. Tokyo, we should already have Tokyo. We do Tokyo with full. Yep, that'll work. Tower. I don't know if I had tower explicitly, so that works for me. Tracing. I think we have explicitly with more things than they have. Oh no, but it's good enough. And HTTP we need. Okay, that was actually really easy. Just pulled all those in without too much of a problem. Ooh, equals exactly that one. That's interesting. So we probably won't upgrade because it feels like it's telling me I don't want to. That was way simpler than I thought, to be honest with you. So now I should just move some of the files and functions over, and we should be good to go, question mark? Yeah, this was almost too easy. I like it. Move Tailwind into there. Yep, replace it with the other one. That's fine. So like lib, file serve, error template, and app. None of those exist. So I should be able to just pull all of those over nicely. And then main's where there's some stuff going on. Yeah, okay. That's not bad though. Let's just do this. So I think it's basically just take all of these things. Okay, yeah, so here's my main, but this is all of this wants to be wrapped up in config feature SSR. And then the main, there's like literally nothing when you don't have that configured. Okay. So what if we just take all of these as well and put them in here? Oh, this is probably just called status now. It's not going to be called status Leptos anymore. Not SSR, we just do this. This is what I actually want to run in my main. Because I want to set up that first, so then underscore main is really where the fun is. And then run axum can also like just be thrown in here. Except I don't know if this all is stuff that wants to go in here. Actually, it's probably stuff that wants to go and run axum. It's probably closer to that than anything. We get the adder from them. Yeah, okay. So the state thing is probably the most interesting here. But I can add in the cookie layer for the stuff that we're doing that way, which means we might actually not use the stuff that I was saying. The tower session stuff, we might end up not using it, but that's okay. Not bad at all. So the only thing we're not doing now is giving it the right state. Okay. And then I think there's also actually, while I'm here, I think there's a Leptos language server that I think I'm gonna want. Oh yeah, that's fine. Switch to a pre-release version. Yeah. Let's try that. Okay. Cool. Let's see. There was also some things in their docs about the developer experience here. And I think we probably have, well, I didn't see that directly. Did I? Yes, I did. It's there. Oh, that's in, oh yeah, in the hydrate thing for that side. Okay, that makes sense. Editor autocomplete, set up this with Rust Analyzer. That I would very much like to do. Yep. Cargo install the format tool. I definitely like the format tool. I think this will tell me how to use it. Yeah, workspace settings. Open workspace settings. Workspace settings. JSON. Cool. Uh-oh. Formatters. I think I probably just like messed up the formatting for Rust just a little bit. Oh, these are for the LSPs, so these aren't actually just the... Okay, I'll have to find my config later. I might have just messed up my auto formatting just a touch. to try to make it work better with Leptos, but that's okay. The actual thing that I'm curious about is I want like this to be enabled. Which I'm surprised that they don't talk about much in the docs, because I feel like, oh, but that is, we're also, yeah, okay. How about we look at it all the way down here? No, the life, hydration bugs, yeah, okay. Working with the server, progressive enhancement, yeah, I do like that a lot. Okay. So that's redirecting. Yeah, I'm kind of just curious why. Oh, Tailwind is built in. Yeah, okay, so I do need to figure out how to use Tailwind directly, because that's just going to be nicer than this. But Cargo Leptos, SSR mode. When building the front end, yeah, we compile it that way. Binary features is that. They don't really mention anything about that. Huh. I'm looking for anything about Analyzer now. Nothing directly about Analyzer. Okay. We will move on from that at the moment then. Tailwind. Activates the Tailwind input file. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I want that. I want that for sure. Tailwind. Is there another one? No. Yeah, I like that. Cargo Leptos watch. Oh wait, let's do it not in there. Cargo Leptos watch. Let's see if this will build. But Axum is not an optional dependency. Oh. Okay. Oh. That's why that needs to be optional. Okay. That makes sense, because we're not going to do it on the client side. Okay, so I need to make Axum optional. That's gonna be so interesting. Just totally hadn't thought about that. Oh, there needs a version. Why can't I bring open? There we go. I couldn't get my terminal to open. That was weird. Tokyo needs to be optional. I feel like there's a chance that like most of these are gonna end up needing to be optional. Tracing is not an optional dependency. Yeah, I feel like so many of these are going to be this way now. Oh, need this. It's annoying that you can't just add the optional true bit. You need the other thing too. Oh, okay, there we go. Maybe. Oh, it's missing the target. Okay, I can copy that over from the inner one. I missed this thing. Cargo Leptos build. We're at least getting somewhere. That's okay. Kind of expected things to fail here. Oof. Whoa, where does this even start? What's going on? Unresolved import. Mio IO source. There was something, I read something about this. It gave me a warning about this, but I don't remember what it was. Mio? About create or missing features from core. This is generally a sign that you're trying to compile something to WASM that can't be compiled to WASM. If you're adding server-only dependencies, you'll want to make them optional and then add them to the SSR function definition. Yeah, okay. So I think this is basically what I'm going to need to do to almost all of these errors. Like maybe this is even going to be optional true for the moment, and then dep mayet. Tracing's already tracing open telemetry. Yeah, these all are gonna need that. Can I like just tell you no, you don't have any suggestions for me? I dare you. Optional true. Optional true version equals that. Optional true. Optional true. Optional true. Optional true. Oof, there's a lot. And this one also is definitely going to need an optional true. That's probably one we're actually going to get rid of by the end here. Okay, so let's go through and add all of these ones. Tracing, open telemetry. Yep. Tracing subscriber, tracing tree, open telemetry LTP, sentry tower. Perfect. Those are definitely the ones that I had done already. Axum macros. Yep. I don't know about async trait, to be honest. Ooh, request we can do in both places, I think. Okay, we're making this is a lot closer than before. Oh, this is definitely a optional true one though. Version equals this. Optional true. Tower cookies. Optional true. So I added, oh, yep, that one for sure. I don't know about Chrono and UUID. Those ones I think Chrono and UUID I was gonna try. But I did do Axum macros, yeah. Dep, Axum macros, async trait. I don't know about async trait, to be honest. Let's try, let's say that async trait can go with both because that would be better. SQLX and tower cookies, those ones definitely though. Those are the two. No, I don't want that one. Chrono's fine. We're gonna leave it. Dep. Tower cookies. Okay, let's see if that's a bit better. Maybe better, but not all the way better. We got a big one here. Okay, yeah. Ring for WASM. So I think what that means is I need to do this with request without that, and then this can become request with this feature enabled. Now we want the rustls feature only in server side. We don't want that for WASM. Okay. Is this still ring? What is asking for ring then? So I was hoping it was just going to be this. I guess I should look for a TLS. Who else talks about TLS? This one. Oh, but you're already You open telemetry is like totally only here though. I guess I could say. I guess I could mark request totally. Let's try that. Nope. We're still trying to get ring installed. Okay, so like how can I do that? I want cargo Y version. I just want to like look up the thing. Cargo Y ring? Is that a thing? No. Uh Cargo find why a dep is installed. Come on, ChatGPT, you got this. Cargo tree, is there an easier way to do it? But that's fine. Cargo, what's the actual command for this? Dash I. Cargo tree dash I ring. There we go. Okay. JSON web token. Of course it's JSON web token. I had a feeling it could have been. Dep, JSON web token. Okay. Oh, CJA. Yeah, that's definitely a backend only. Optional true. Dep CJA. Hey, that might have been the last one I needed for ring at least. Okay, we're maybe gonna wasm. I think this is the wasm. Yeah, 'cause we got Leptos DOM and stuff. Okay. Nice. And now the server side, this one should definitely compile because everything should compile for the server side. Okay, that's good. We got all of those wired in now. I like that. Uh-oh. What's OBS mad about? Oh no, insufficient disk space for recording again. I thought I had solved that one. That's okay. We'll just have to take the version that Twitch has recorded for me for YouTube. That's unfortunate though. I specifically checked ahead of time and really thought I was gonna have enough disk space for that. Okay, so now we're just blowing up here. Oof, okay, but we made it to my thing here. Non-inline modules in proc macro input are unstable. Oh, is this because I'm not using... Do I need to use nightly and am I not using nightly? No, that's on nightly. Oh, I didn't mean to put these here necessarily. Actually, I hadn't really thought about this. How did this do this? Cargo Leptos had a main. Oh, its main, it uses the lib. It doesn't need anything in its main. Got it. Yeah, so like these things are probably just part of lib. Yeah, they are definitely just part of lib. Okay, so then some of these though are SSR only, like that one and that one and probably that one and that one. Probably that one. These ones are all probably server side only. Yeah. I think all of those are server side only. That makes sense for that. Mod templates. Do I actually have a templates mod? Yeah, I do. Okay. Lib mod templates. Server side only. Okay, let's try building a little bit. Wasm's fine. Made it farther here though. That's good. Okay. Unresolved import, create app state. Yeah, that's fine. No. Yeah, so I don't have app state. Oh, because... Well, this should only be rendering if we have that. So, because this whole thing is set, like this mod only exists if we have SSR. So like this whole ass thing only exists in the case where app state is the thing. But it's probably not here, but it would be app state. Do I just not have a thing for that though? Because that would kind of make sense that before I did and now I don't. So I could add a pub use state and throw one of these on this too. Okay, I think we're getting better though. Yeah, for sure. For sure better. Not great, but better. The name main. Oh, I have multiple mains here. Okay. So I have this one. Oh, yeah, okay, there's just literally 2 copies of that one. And I think actually there's 2 copies of this one too. Yeah, there were definitely 2 copies of that one. Okay. Making some progress. Not a lot. Well, I think a lot, but we're getting there. Use setup. Use create setup. Is that what I needed? Can't find setup and create root. Is it that I just need to call this status because it's just called status? And is that better? Now do I need to make things public so that I can use them in main? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so lib public to the crate. Can I just make these all pub crate? Ah! I just wanted, there we go. That's all I wanted. Just make everything public to the crate. Let's see if that's any better. That's definitely a bit better. You main here, that needs status, that. This one needs status, because that's the name of our app. Ooh, I think we're down to this last one that I keep ignoring because it's the bottom one. Okay. Expected this. We returned a result of something. That's fine. We can fix that. Oh, actually, no. I think I just want to have it return that. My result of there we go. So close. We have a new one now. Cron is private. Is it? Is this actually supposed to be CJA cron run cron? No, it's not. There's no way, which means I just missed one of these. No, also not true. Yeah, what are you upset about? Run cron is not publicly re-exported. Oh, there's more of these that are that way. Got it. Status. So do I just need to take all of these and make them pub, not pub crate? Because that's easy enough to do. I don't really care about the distinction between public and private right now in the middle, or like in the inside of this application. It's not going to be like published as a library, so it should be pretty fine. Now it just thinks run cron like pulp totally is private, but I think it's just, yeah, I just need to drop this from here. Okay. Yep. We're getting close, but not all the way there yet. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Uh, the crate here is private and it's in the it's in my macro. It's in the macro. Can I just make it public after? Like, can I just say that jobs is public? No. Can I just do use self jobs? Wait, I can? That's valid Rust? Oh, no. Okay. It's only public within the crate and can't be re-exported outside. Consider marking it as pub in the imported module. I could rename it. So I think I need to like actually go into my other project, or I could just do this for right now. What? It doesn't want to let me just pull you out? Oh, come on. That's so mean. Usually I can, it's just Rust Analyzer just not working right now. Rust Analyzer reload workspace. I think it's because it doesn't know to run it with server-side rendering as the feature flag. Rust Analyzer use feature. How do I tell it to use the SSR feature? There we go. Features. Yeah. So I want workspace settings, features, SSR. Server restart. Yeah, let's try that. Ooh, it does look like it's building more things. I think it actually is trying to build everything with the server-side rendering feature flag this time, which is good. It's definitely what I wanted. So now if I like open something like jobs, does it? Oh, well, it's still running. So of course it doesn't actually know how to do this yet. But the theory is that it'll actually know what's going on in here a little better. Indexing some stuff. Okay. At least gonna try now. Try thinking about it. I'm not sure it's actually gonna be able to do it, but we're gonna try. Ooh, there we go. Inline macro. Love it. All I wanted to do is get rid of that pub crate. I had to remember what that needed to be. The crate here refers to the crate that macro comes from, which is the CJA crate. Is that gonna build now? With that as a public struct? Ooh, it might. It might. It does. Awesome. Okay. And I had a little too much coffee before I got started, so I need to run to the bathroom for just another second. So I'll be back in like 90 seconds. Okay, we are back again, team. And let's get started. Okay. Can we run this? Cargo Leptos run? Oh, watch then, I guess. That's fine. Compiling, running. Ooh, I'm panicked. Can't start a runtime from within a runtime. This happens. Oh yeah, that's fine. I think I messed that up then. Is this thing actually a Tokyo main? Yeah, no Tokyo main for you. Yeah, that's what we want. Wait. Oh, it does say async there. Perfect. I missed that that was an async function and got pretty confused. The reason I don't use the Tokyo... Yep, that's fair. The reason I don't use the Tokyo main function is because I wanted to set up Sentry before we get the async runtime set up. Ooh, we don't have a font awesome a kit ID set up on this machine, or something. I should have that set up. I'm gonna need to go into secrets mode for just a second so I can pull up that envarc file. Actually, let's just do this first. Nope, I'm gonna open up my secrets file. Give me just a sec. Ooh, actually, I forgot I can do this here. Secrets. And then, phew, no one can see me anymore. Or you can see me, I think, but you shouldn't be able to see my screen. Yeah, perfect. Okay. envarc. I just don't have that file on this machine. Let's see if it's on this with my other machine. Code envarc. I don't actually need the full editor. You can just look at it in the command line. Yes, that's what I needed. Perfect. Copied it from my other computer. Close my embarc file. It's loaded. We can do watch again. And let's let everyone back to seeing. Hi, team. We're back. And we can see things working. We have our jobs and cron running again locally, so that's exciting. And yes, we're back to Leptos at our home page here. Okay, awesome. So we are seeing Leptos, and I think all of our job server stuff is just working. So let's see if we're... Actually, no, let's commit. And actually, let's commit and probably delete the status Leptos thing completely. Let's delete status Leptos completely. Boom. Blow it away. I also think we might want to delete our proc file, because we're using cargo Leptos watch now, and it's supposed to do Tailwind for us, which is cool. So I actually think what I'm going to do is take source Tailwind CSS, plop that into style Tailwind CSS, and delete this one. Move to trash. Yeah. Because then I think what's still supposed to be happening is we're using, like in our cargo.toml here, we are telling it, Tailwind, to use this as the Tailwind input file. And I think that's enough that it's just gonna like work. Let's find out though. Address already in use. Wait, what is that error? Okay, so this is still working. I wonder what that already in use was about. Starting on that. This. Yeah, that's interesting. So, but like, isn't that the address it wanted me to bind to do that? And now I just deleted it, of course. Okay, that's fine. It's hilarious though, but it's fine. Because now I want to look at here and in the main file. Yeah, it definitely uses the same, like it uses site address here. So I'm not really sure what that's about. I'm going to ignore it for now because things seem to be working. So yeah. Oh, and we still got Tailwind, right? Like that was still... Let's actually change that red to blue or something and just see it work. Blue 500. Yeah. Compiled WASM, compiled the backend. Ah, there we go. Okay, so something is not working, at least in Tailwind land, which isn't that surprising. Yeah. How do I find more about this? The README says activates it, which is true, but then used as the only input file, it results in hot reload errors. Ah, is to define an empty file with nothing in it. Okay. The README says that activates the Tailwind build, which is true, but it's used with an yeah, okay, so I think I want style file. Style empty. .css. So then in theory I make this, I do empty.css, which is fine. I don't like that. That's reasonable for me. I think I want to turn off my cron and maybe jobs for the moment. So again, my run Axum. Yeah, this. Only Axum. That's the one I want to run right now. Okay. Yeah, so I'm confused by how that's supposed to work then, because that's what this is doing too. Well, it is already listening to this address, unless it's this serving it, like, unless you're listening to it already. No, there's just, do I already have one running? Yeah, these ones are running. Status Leptos. Aha, there we go. Okay, finally got a connection refused, or connection canceled. So there's a while that I've been saying things have been working that they might not have been. Okay, there we go. And we got blue. We're good to go now. We just had some extra ones lying around, probably from when I was messing with the end-to-end tests, if we're being honest. Okay. All kinds of stuff moved around. Ooh, let's try that. Cargo Leptos end to end. End to end like that. Yeah, it does all the compiling, builds the things, runs the things, and then runs my tests in potentially multiple browsers. That's amazing. Oh, and then I can show the report by just doing this. No report found. Dang. Oh, I bet if I go into this and then run it. Oh, well, no, not that. I wanted to run the NPX again. There we go. Woohoo! Wow. That's awesome. I love it. I like that a lot. Okay. Let's get this all committed and good to go. Oh, I don't want this node modules here. Let's get rid of that. End to end. New file dot get ignore node modules get rm end to end node modules. Yeah, recursively get rid of it. Okay. No, you're supposed to not, you're supposed to be get ignored now. Okay, fine. We'll just get rid of this. We'll delete you. That's fine. We'll go to this get ignore file and we'll just do slash node modules. Actually, because I can just get rid of it. End to end node modules RF, make it go away. CD into end to end, npm install. End to end slash node modules. Remove node modules dash r. I don't want these to be added though. That's like the whole point here. Git remove. Okay, they're just gone now, which is fine. As long as this actually ignores them when I add them back. End to end. And then it's going to be node modules. I don't even think I need that at the end. npm ins. Actually, let's just go this and let's just do cargo leptos end to end. Okay, so it didn't like that at all. So cd to end npm install. Do need that. There we go. Now it's get ignored correctly. And I can tell because it's highlighted correctly up here now. Address already in use. Okay, so that's just the PS kill status thing. Pico. Yes, grep status. There we go. Okay, yeah, so it was running. Now it's not running. I'm not positive if this is actually what did it or not. Yeah, I think it is. This might not be taking it down at the end. Yeah. Kill this one. No, I want this. I want its PID. There we go. Okay, cool. Yes, that looks good to commit. Move Leptos to the main app. No more subdir. Okay, let's see what we can do now. We are good to go. So we have our app. Here's our Leptos. This is the main entry point to everything here. So what do I want to do? I don't even really know. Like, we have some routes. I'm like, there's a homepage route where like we get some session information. I guess what I maybe want to do is get the template, because I made this whole template system before where like this is, oh man, I'm gonna have to convert this back into HTML. Oh no. Because I did MAUD and like that, so I needed it in this format, but then to put this back, it's gonna need to be HTML style for Leptos. That's okay though. Just a little silly. But I guess this is maybe what I want. Like maybe I want to make a template component that is this. And do that. Let's see if Leptos has anything about that. None of those are really that, which is totally okay. State management. Yeah, that's different state management than I'm talking about. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's just how we're gonna do it. Yeah. Simple loading screens to create the fallbacks. Yep. But what do we have? Two resources and want to wait on both of them. Oh, wait, so how did we do this one? Oh, create resource. Yep. This is not bad, but it's kind of annoying. What if we wanted to invert the full? Let's just do exactly that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So if I have, I might just want to do suspend for both of these. If you're simply trying to wait on some future to resolve before rendering, you might find the await component helpful in reducing boilerplate. Await essentially combines a resource with the source argument with a suspense with no callback. Okay, so I think await is just future provides the future to be resolved. Yep. The data that it's bound to, so you let it to be data, and then inside this you get data and you can use it in your view. Okay. That seems reasonable. So I'm really just trying to figure out how I want to load pages, how I want to get session data, because I was going very server rendered before, but now I have to think in a world where at least things will be server rendered and need to be renderable on the client as well, I believe. I think that's true. The life of a page load. On the server, they make a GET request, they receive it, it goes through Leptos routes, and then we render the app, renders the root component, giving it the URL, runs on the server to build an HTML version of it, and then we do the suspense we haven't talked about too much yet. Okay. And we decided that we're doing async. So load all resources on the server. Wait until all data is loaded and render the HTML all at once. Okay, so I think that means that if I have suspense tags and everything, it's just not gonna use them. It's just gonna wait for everything to be loaded and then it's gonna return. Okay. Yep. For any async that is not serializable and therefore should only be loaded in the browser itself. Creating a local resource when you could create a serialized resource is always de-optimization. Yeah, okay. Synchronous serves that includes fallback for any. Oh no, we're not doing synchronous though, because that's this one. If you're using server-side rendering, the synchronous mode is almost never what you actually want from a performance perspective. Yep. Okay, so I want something like async rendering, and I want to do my template. They don't have anything for templating built in. Okay, I just needed to walk through all of that in my head. So I think really what I want to do is just build a template component that I can render things into. And we already have like app, which renders this nice view, and homepage. Ooh, so app, I guess, is probably the best spot for my template because then router is the rowdy thing. Yeah. I think that probably makes sense. Provides for client-side and server-side routing. This should be used somewhere near the root. Children, the router should usually wrap your whole page. It can contain any elements and should include a routes component somewhere to define and display routes. You can have some optional props. Fallback should be shown if no route is matched. Yep, we just render this error template. That makes sense. Okay, so yeah, we want the router to be at the very top. That makes sense. Then we have routes. Oh, hey, Tobs on Switch. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. We are... What did you do with Corey? Oh, yeah, what did I do with Corey, right? I shaved and now I look a little different. What do you think? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Took me just a second, but I imagine that might be what you're talking about. A little, yeah. What do you think? Got rid of the beard and mustache at the moment. We're going shaved for the moment. We'll see how long it lasts. Looking fresh, exactly. Wanted to try something new. It had been a while, so we're gonna try something new for a bit. Thanks for stopping by though. We are working on status, which is my uptime tracker. And this is the deployed version that's just Axum and HTML powered. And what we're working on today is trying to redo this in Leptos, which is a Rust client, like a server-side client framework kind of thing. So a little more React-y a bit, got some client-side stuff littered in, and I'm trying to figure out where the best way to put in like my template-y stuff is. So, you know, where the sidebar and the main content goes and all of that kind of stuff. I think it's probably right around here-ish that we add this like sidebar layout thing. And maybe it's that I like have a sidebar layout component here that like is basically instead of this main, we have like we end the sidebar layout here. And then this maybe wants to know like what page we're on or something, but we will get that in just a minute. Let's get rid of this main. So I think, yeah, this is going to be another component. Let's actually make a module under app. Sure. Mod, I don't know, sidebar. Let's put it in sidebar right now. Create that there. Yep. There's now app sidebar, and then that wants something like this. To do for now. I don't want to think about it for just a second. And this though wants to be called, oh, whoa, too much. Sidebar layout. React and Rust in the web. Yeah, right? Something kind of like that. I say React just because it's way more React-y than the plain HTML version I was doing a second ago. But I don't, I think, you know, the people who make Leptos might not love me saying it's React-y. It is React-like, but it's not implemented nearly the same. But that's okay. We're gonna call it React-like for the moment. Perfect. Okay, so we have sidebar layout. I think this just is telling me I need to import it. Awesome. Okay. No method named children found for struct. So I think what this is telling me is I need this. This needs to have children. So I think this needs a children. I actually don't know what the children looks like here, but I've seen it in examples in Leptos. So let's just find that. Let's just search for children. I think that'll come up. And yes, very JSX-y, right? That's a better way to talk about it, I think. Oh, it's a children. Perfect. That's easy enough. Oh yeah, so very, very JSX-y. And I kind of like that, right? I'm liking one thing that Leptos is big about that I haven't gotten to yet, but we will get to very soon, I imagine, is their server functions. There we go. So like you have your component in this JSX-y kind of style, and then you can just have a function that you say is a server function. And this is then basically going to be like an API endpoint that you can use in your component. And I really like putting all those things together. It feels kind of like the JSX world where, you know, everything I need for my components right in that one file, or maybe the directory right around it, instead of more Railsy where you have your controller and then your views and your models and they're all spaced out. I'm kind of liking this reorganization kind of style. So that's what we're shooting for. I keep pulling up Discord on accident. There we go. Now this renders, except like it's not going to work. I'm kind of interested to see it out. I think it's just going to, oh, well, it's going to render nothing because I have it blowing up. It's not even worth running, really. Cargo Leptos watch, though, is the command I was looking for down there. We'll get it ready in a second. This is just doing this, but let's actually use the view macro instead. And let's just do a paragraph tag that says test. Oh, NT, not test. There we go. Something like that. Okay. And then, oh man, I'm going all over the place. We can run it. There we go. It finally ran. It just took a second. And then 3001, and we get there. Oh, awesome. So now we get our test. And now let's see if we can just render our children. Okay, let's close Discord just for the moment. I'll head over there in a bit after stream for sure. Let's just get children rendered here. And how did the docs do that? Oh, that doesn't say children anywhere. Passing children. Children. You just call children. Gotta love it. There we go. Children is a callable thing. Oh, the server will not be restarted. Yeah, that's pretty fair. If the Leptos thing's crashing that much, I would say that's reasonable to not try again. Okay, so now we should see our... Oh, there we go. Awesome. Look at that. We got test and then the welcome to Leptos stuff underneath. And we are rocking and rolling. Okay. I like this. So now we need to like just take the absolute mountain of HTML that is over here and convert it to and put it in where we need it to be. So let's look at some of these first. The title and link. These are actually going to be a little different, but I saw how to do those here. So I think we can do things like this to inject these things. Those don't want to go in sidebar, though. They definitely want to go in app. I didn't really think about it at first. Oh, dang it. I thought one of those was going to be the right thing. What I actually want to do is copy these just so I can like look at them as we get this set up. So I think the title will just be this hard-coded thing for the moment. That makes sense. This is a style sheet. ID equals Leptos means it will hot reload this style sheet. Okay, well, I don't want that for this next style sheet. Style sheet ID, no, I don't want that either. ID equals font awesome. I'm not really sure if I need the ID at all. Cool. Cross origin anonymous, that's a good one. Might as well throw that on here. The part that I'm not so sure of yet is, okay, yeah, we're not going to do the free one. We're doing the pro version. That's the whole point here. And then it's just my thing.css. But I need this. But I don't have that here. So that's the thing that I want to pull from context is... Wait, I can't pull that from context because we're not in a server function. Okay, so that's actually something that I need on the... I need to figure out how that works, right? Because this component wants to render both on the client and the server. That is true. So how do I get a secret into this view to put here? And it's not a very secrety secret, right? It's a pretty not secrety secret. But I do need to get it into my view. So I could give it to app, right? Could I give it to app? I don't think so. Oh, maybe I can give it... No, because this isn't calling app, right? Yeah, app's a function. Yeah. Uh-huh. Provide meta context. Ensures you can provide at the highest level without overriding a meta context that's already been provided. Yep. So that's super interesting. So how do I want to get this thing that's like just barely a secret into where I want it? The easiest answer is probably just to kind of not do that actually, and is just to, oh no, this uses the this does use a runtime environment variable. Yeah, because I did want it to be a runtime environment variable. So I need to get that onto the page, but no, it can be on the client side. That's not the problem. I just need to get it from like the environment. That's just like some state almost. URL is global state, passing signals through create global state struct and slices. Yeah. Global state. There we go. But there's a problem because our whole state is wrapped in one signal. Updating the value of one field will cause reactive updates in parts of the UI that only depend on the other. That's okay. I don't even think there's a better way. You can take fine-grained reactive slices by using create memo or create slice. Memoizing a value means creating a new reactive value will only update when it changes. Memoizing a slice, yeah. But what if I just have like a absolutely static thing? I think that might be what I want to do. If you have multiple fields, non-reactive fields, and then wrap it in a signal. What if I don't need it to be reactive at all? Use context. So maybe I just want provide and use context, but I still have to get it into the app, right? Like that's still kind of the problem here. And I also can't do all of app state because app state has things that are both client and server side. But I just need a client global state thing that I could just put this in. Like that does seem kind of to be what I'm saying. Okay, so I can have a struct called global client state, which has a font awesome kit ID. And then we like impl new, and it's just that. Yep, exactly. And then in use context, provide context. Provide context, create read write signal. Oh, see, that creates a read write signal. I don't even need that. What if I just provide context? Can I just provide context of a global client state? Oh yeah, it can be clone. That's perfect. Not sure about that. Drive clone copy. Oh, not copy. It can't. Oh, it can't be copied. So then let context equal provide I think I should just then do let state equals use context. And then this can just be state.font awesome kit ID. Font awesome kit ID. Ooh, why is this optional? So whole state is wrapped in one signal. Look, expect context. Yeah, context gives me an option. This does not. Okay, there we go. Does that work how I want it to? So now if I go to this and I look in the head, I'm pulling down the font awesome thing. Yeah, look at that with the right kit and everything. Love it. Okay. Not sure if I love that pattern. Oops. I'm not sure if that's going to be the right pattern forever, but like that does work for now. I like it. I want to see how fast some of these like refreshes are. class equals color. If I just do red, oh sure. But I don't want ring. I want just like text font red. Yeah, green, red, color, background red 500. That'll work. That's fine. Oh, I didn't actually do that, but oh, red 500. Okay, yeah, not as fast. Oh, and it does auto. Wait, I don't have to actually reload though. It'll just do it for me. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Okay. It's not as fast as like, JavaScripty stuff, but it's reasonable. Okay, so I have the sidebar layout. It has the viewy thing. I really can just take the whole thing and throw it in. But there's a lot here. Like that was a lot of stuff. So like we went from HTML to MAUD. Can I go back? I kind of doubt it, right? Yeah. How about MAUD to HTML? I also could just take the rendered HTML from my site. Do I feel like that would be better? Oh, there's also the whole mobile thing that I'm not even like doing correctly here yet. Yeah, maybe it is actually better to just take the whole rendered HTML from like this page. Copy outer HTML and then just like throw it in here. I would love that to be formatted though in some way. New file. Can I just like, do I have a temp directory here? Test.html. Yes, that. Sure, that's fine. Perfect. I wanted it formatted. That's basically all I wanted it to do. Okay, there we go. We have the HTML here now. So then how do I do this? There's cargo leptos format, something like that. Leptos format. This. How do I run it? Just like that, I guess. Nice. Okay, that is better. Okay, okay, awesome. Okay, so like where's the ones that I... Okay, yeah, because this is just the rendered HTML, like the full on everything. What is this? Oh, it's this. Oops, of course it is. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, yeah, this is the full HTML for everything here. So like these are the my sites. Yeah, okay. And so this though, this main, this is where we want to render children. Oh, interesting. It does it that way. That's like, I don't really care that much. But I do want that for the other stuff. Yeah, it's not running. Leptos watch. Leptos format though. I do want to Yeah. Oh, do I still have that in there? Oh, I see. It doesn't like that there's just not anything in here somewhere. Ah, there's one of those not closed. There we go. Remove those parentheses. Oh, cool. Delete surrounding parens. Hey, there we go. So this doesn't like work yet, right? This isn't dynamic, but it does like sit here and I can cool, and it like links and then these get 404s because they don't know where those are going, which is interesting though because like they actually have that actually shouldn't 404, right? Unless I removed my old routes, which I didn't think I did. Maybe I did though. I thought I left the old routes alone. No, I did not. Okay, that makes sense. We are just building with these routes. Oh, yeah, I could just do this. That'll be interesting. Let's figure out what happens if I do that. Status routes Leptos routes exists for app state, but its trait bounds were not satisfied. Oh, because I need to be able to pull Leptos options out of that. Okay, that's that one's specifically not hard at all. But I'm not sure if that's exactly what I'm gonna want to do. Um. Okay, yeah. We might not mess with that right now, but that makes sense. That's why to do integrate this with my old routing from Axum. Yeah, so I'm just still a little bit unsure exactly how I'm gonna do like authenticated pages. Leptos page require auth. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna look at some of these things offline and do some of this later. But I think we made some good progress today. Oh, there's no auth even mentioned there. Okay, so maybe not that one. Yeah, So my problem is just that like I have pages that I just don't want to render unless you're logged in. So I think that means eventually I'm gonna need a component, right? That fetches auth status. Probably with one of those create resource things, right? So I can like do create resource around a server function, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Like I can do a create resource, and then the thing that I create a resource around can be the server data. Yep. This doesn't even do, it just calls the server function directly. Okay. Server function URL prefixes, endpoint, security, server functions. But it's important to remember server functions are not magic. They're syntax sugar for defining a public API. The body of a server function is never made public. It's just part of your server binary. But the server function is publicly accessible API endpoint, and its return value is just JSON or similar blob. You should never return something sensitive from a server function. But like, what if I've authed? That's the bit that's weird. Why is it I should never return something sensitive from a server function? Shouldn't it be more like you should only return something sensitive from a server function if you are authed? Create resources so you can easily integrate server functions with the rest of it. Create resources that call the server function to load data from the server. Read these resources under suspense or transition to enable streaming SSR and fallback states. Create actions that call the server function to mutate data on the server. And so then if we go to this and we look at the different modes of server-side rendering again, or maybe it's the life of a page load. No, it's one of these though. Yeah, create resource, create local resource. So async rendering. Blocking resources. Yep. A blocking resource still loads asynchronously like any other. It doesn't block a server thread or anything else. Instead, reading from blocking resources under a suspense blocks the HTML stream from returning anything, including its initial synchronous shell, until the suspense has resolved. So this lets you have some things that are blocking, and this is helpful for the partially blocked modes and stuff. I'm not sure that really matters for the mode that we are planning on using, which is just async rendering. It just waits for everything. Yeah. So I need to never return anything sensitive from a server function. I don't like that answer because I want to have a server function that like gets things that's about the user. I think I can do that. I don't think that's a bad idea, right? I think that's how it should all work. And I think if I put something in a server function and I call it on the server, it'll wait for it to happen nicely. So why would I want to do a resource? What is a resource in Leptos land? Loading data with resources. A resource is a reactive data structure that reflects the current state of an asynchronous task, allowing you to integrate asynchronous features into the synchronous reactive system. Rather than waiting for its data to load with a wait, you transform the future into a signal that returns some if it's resolved and none if it's still pending. You do this by the create resource function. It takes two arguments: a signal source, which will generate a new future whenever it changes, and a fetcher function, which takes the data from that signal and returns a future. Okay, so resources to create a resource that simply runs once, you can pass a non-reactive empty source signal. Yep. These work like clones the value and returns it. With applies a closure, but for any resource, they may also return an option, not T, because it's always possible that resource is still loading. So you can show the current state of a resource in your view by matching on it. Yep. Resources also provide a refetch method that allows you to manually reload the data, for example, in response to a button click, and a loading method that returns a read signal boolean indicating whether the resource is currently loading or not. Okay, so resources are how we fetch data from the server. That makes sense. And then there's suspense. Simple loading screen. Yep. And then suspense makes this a little bit easier, where it gives you a fallback prop and children, one or more of which usually involves reading from a resource. Oh, and children. Yeah, children is the thing that reads from resources. If they're still waiting for resources, we call fallback. Once they're all loaded, it shows the children. If you're simply trying to wait for some feature to resolve before rendering, you may find the await component helpful in reducing boilerplate. Await essentially combines a resource with a source argument of this and a suspense with no fallback. Okay, yeah, so await might be the thing that I want to like fetch data from the server. I can just await on some data being fetched, and then when it's fetched, we render the page. On the server, that'll wait for like my SQL, right, to finish, and then it'll render. Because I'm using the async. And if I did different suspense and awaits, because this isn't a suspense, right? It would do a different thing in the client side. Okay, I'm making, this is making a little more sense. The only thing that I still need to figure out is like auth. But I think it's actually not as bad as I think, right? Because in my server functions, I can add a way to check the auth cookie, right? Using some of the examples that we've seen around auth stuff. And then I can just return whatever data we need. And yeah, no, that'll be perfect. That's exactly what we want. Okay. So server functions are going to be how I get data, even if it's an initial render, because the whole point of this framework is that I don't know it's an initial render. I might have renders on the client side too that will need access to the same like data basically. And then await is my way of, is probably how I'm going to do this, because at the moment my only rendering is server side, or I'm doing server side rendering, so I won't actually render the white screen that await would render, because I'm going to render it on the server, and you're going to have data already preloaded when you get there. Yeah, okay. That is, I think that's what I needed, right? So almost all of my components, any of my components that require server data want to use an await or a suspense. Which one I'd use depends on how I'm feeling. It doesn't really matter much. I'm not going to see my suspenses much because I am doing server-side rendering. Got it. Okay. Yep. And then the state for the font awesome ID, that thing is different. That I think I probably did the right thing. It's just in both my binary and in my WASM. I can just new up the thing. It's just encoded there. Actually, it's not in the binary. It looks in the environment variables. Ooh, that might be weird on the client side, right? Like I might actually need that to come from the server. So it maybe ends up being server function eventually. That actually makes sense, right? Like I might want a server function that is get all config for the app. But then when you render the app, you load that once. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I know I'm just talking in circles a little bit, but I think I'm getting a handle on how all of this is going to shape up. Let's see where we're at in commit land, and if we need to make some commits. We do. Let's remove this test file. Remove test.html. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so we have sidebar layout, which now renders this huge HTML sidebar, just all of it built in. Oh, cool. Like we're seeing some things that are a little broken in Tailwind. We're just applying the same thing. And then eventually, at the very, very end, we render children, which is going to render our actual pages. Our app right now only has this one homepage route, and it renders it with async, but I think I understand a lot better how I would like get things from the server and interact with them on the client side. So I think we're in a good spot to get a better actual app, like, you know, get Leptos actually working here and replace the current pages I have with some Leptos driven ones using some server functions. And I am very excited about all that. But I think that might be another stream, and I think I'm going to wrap up for here. This was a fun one, though. I had a lot of fun digging into Leptos, and I do think it fits well with how I want to build things, but it's a bit of a change, mostly around thinking about everything being server rendered to it can render on the client, and I have to account for that in how I build my app. But with that, I think I am probably going to wrap up here, so let's make a commit. uh, bring over the sidebar a bit. But it's basically just a static copy right now. Awesome. And let's push this up to this branch that I am making. There we go. YubiKey was having a little bit of problems there, but we got that pushed up. And yeah, I think with that, I am going to wrap up for the day, team. I think we'll go find someone to raid after I do my little spiel. So thank you for tuning in. I am Corey. I go by CoreyJA on the internet. You can find my blog at CoreyJA.com, and from there you can check on all of my videos and all of my projects. For example, you can check out status and you'll see this is the last week's stream, and as soon as this one makes it to YouTube, you will be able to see today's there as well, and you can check on all of my other projects as well. And so please go check out my blog. I also have a newsletter if you want to follow along and see what I am working on week to week. I try to get these out, let's call it about monthly right now, but I might try to get back up to weekly in the future. And as always, have a great week, team, and I'll see you later. Bye.